Lawin Media Network,
bringing to you the most relevant content across all platforms.
business, legal, politics, health, lifestyle, and entertainment.
Your source for all the news and updates in the greater Houston community from Texas and all over the world.
Get informed and empowered with Lawin Media Network.
Hello. Good evening, Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao. Good morning, Texas. Good morning, America. How are you, Dr. Neil?
Good morning, warm welcome to everyone. Of course, magandang araw, good day, and a warm hello to our listeners from the Philippines, the USA, and across the globe. Welcome to Teacher Talk with Ma'am Cora and Dr. Nildz, a space where stories, wisdom, and experiences in education comes alive. How are you, Ma'am Cora?
I'm great. Although it was a very hectic schedule this week, we know we're out for 2 weeks, right? And this is our 6th episode. And the title of this is really, really special. What is the title of today's, Dr. Neil?
Okay, just to let you know, this is our episode 7.
Yeah,
Okay.
7.
And our theme is service and leadership.
Yes, good job. So
Yes, and our topic for today is very special. Lingkod Bayan, Pinoy Yan.
yes. And we have a very special guest for today. And we are going to introduce her to you all. But before that, let us give you a little snippet of what we have done last week. Okay. So last week and the other week, I was so busy providing professional development for our cultural exchange teachers. We already had before on August the 14th when we had the boot camp. Remember, Philippine Consulate? That was much of our J1 teachers, but that was 50 plus teachers catering for Spring ISD alone. But the other week, I did a professional development for about 30 more cultural exchange teachers. And we provided a lot of activities for them. I introduced the expectation of the district, which is particularly Houston Independent School District. And we did a lot of exercises when it comes to classroom management, the expectation for the curriculum, and all the stuff that goes with the district. So we did enjoy our activity and we provided for them. Dr. Neil, we are an organization that is honored and credited by the Philippine Normal University plus the PRC, Philippine Regulatory Commission, and all the certificates that were given to them were credited for 6 units of professional development. So when they come back to the Philippines, they already earned 6 of that. And there will be more because the plan is to provide more professional development for all of them. So that's how busy I was last time.
Yes, I mean that's awesome, and I know one of you've been inviting me there. I'll make sure that I calendar that because it's awesome also to connect with teachers in Houston. Plus, we also have J1 teachers here down in Dallas, and just like I shared to you with Manong Mike, remember he was our guest last time, and
Yeah.
we were able to connect. And of course, it's not only that the teachers, the professional sector, the educator, but also some other nonprofit organization. And we're both members of the PACC Texas, and
Right.
that's the thing, that we're connecting and collaborating with our organizations. Okay, so I have a busy schedule too, but forgot to put all together. But of course, as educator, we are in our community helping out and making sure that we have visibility so they know that we're here with them because we have experience before and we just want to make sure that they're stay here in the US, whether in Texas or other parts of the United States, will be comfortable and they will feel at home. All right, let's before we introduce our guests, our special guest, let's try to share to them what is the objective because our viewer may be thinking, I thought this is an education side, right? But
Mhm.
why is it that they're doing service and leadership? Well, one of the objectives of our podcast for this episode is to celebrate the spirit of public service in the Filipino context. Would
That's
you
right.
like to do the next one, Miss Ma'am Cora?
Okay. And because of that, to promote awareness of the role and impact of public servants, particularly Filipino American.
Yes. And this one is also to foster pride in the Filipino identity and civic duty.
Oh, yes. And because of that, will lead for us to inspire the next generation of educators and leaders.
And so we decided that will be the best way to discuss challenges and triumphs of a public service workers.
With all of this, guys, those who are watching today, we are wanted to connect with public service, nation building by the service of our Filipino American or Filipino American here in United States, particularly here in Dallas, Texas.
Yes, so I'm excited. Can we now introduce our guests? Would you like to
Absolutely, absolutely.
go
Guys,
ahead, Ma'am Cora?
yeah, we are very honored to have our guest for today. She was elected council member for the city of Carrollton, Texas in May 2024. A seasoned community leader, she has served on boards such as Jubilee of Cultures, the Mead Center, the Greater Dallas Asian American Chamber of Commerce, and the Coalition of Filipino-American Chambers of Commerce of the United States. She also previously served as the state president of the Philippine-American Chamber of Commerce of Texas, where she played a pivotal role in expanding the organization statewide. She now serves as the executive director of the Philippine American Chamber of Commerce Texas Foundation.
And of course, an accomplished entrepreneur. She is the founder of the Southwest Logistics System, Samantha Rose Design, Maverick Medical Enterprises, and ETC Learning Centers. Her outstanding contributions have earned her numerous awards, and one of them is the Chamber President of the Year 2023, Top 25 Women of Dallas in 2016,
Wow.
Member of the Year 2016, and the prestigious Ed Armstrong and Jim McKenzie Achievement Awards last year, 2024. So our guest of honor holds a BS in Commerce from the University of Santo Tomas, an associate degree in Information System from North Lake College, and an MBA from the University of Dallas, and of course, a postgraduate certificate in human resources from the University of Dallas. So, ladies and
And
gentlemen,
gentlemen, please
please join us warmly
welcome
welcoming our
our
distinguished
distinguished
guest,
guest,
friend,
friend,
and
and
city
city councilor,
Rowena Raroque.
Walters. Yay! Good morning. Good morning.
Good
Finally, we
morning.
got her. This
Wow.
lady is a busybody and it's difficult to get hold of her. But thank you for gracing our podcast, Miss Rowena.
Hi, thank you. That was a long intro.
Yes,
That is not even enough of all the accolades you have received. And the thing is, we need to celebrate the spirit of public service in the Filipino context. So we wanted to tell them who you are. There
yes.
you go.
And by the way, Ma'am Cora, and I'm excited because she is the first city councilor here in Texas.
Mhm.
So that's something to celebrate. That's why we're excited that, our Filipino audience in the Philippines will know that Filipinos shine everywhere. And here is an example of our public servant. Okay, we're going to stop talking. Let Rowena say something. Go ahead, Gwen.
Okay, let's roll on. Okay, so we're going to give you
Okay.
our first question for today. Since our goal or our title of today is Lingkod Bayan, Filipino yan, uh, what does Lingkod Bayan mean to you as a Filipino-American leader?
Lingkod Bayan is about servant leadership. That's
Mhm.
simply what it is. You lead with humility, compassion, and responsibility. That's the root of being Filipino. We're always in it together.
Yes.
So you have to uplift our heritage in the process of doing our community service. So it
Mhm.
goes hand in hand.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a very much related with how teachers work
Mm-hmm.
here, even in any aspect of system of education. It is indeed a lingkod bayan, but ours is in a different form, but still servicing others and servicing our community, right? So
Yeah.
thank you for
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yes, I'd like to follow that up. Wayne, how do you think? I know this is not the second question, but sharing what you've said earlier, I felt like, do you think these Filipino American experiences that you have as a public servant gave you a better understanding of what is public service is all about in your
Oh,
basic?
absolutely. Absolutely. I grew up in the Philippines. I was raised there. I was already in my 30s when I moved here. So I was already me. There's really not much different about me. The formation has been there. It was
Yes.
shaped by family, by school. School played a very important role in
Mhm.
all this. I remember I went to a Malate Catholic school. And
Okay.
in high school, you're given a choice. We are required to attend at least one to join one organization. And the one I attended was Student Catholic Action. Every Saturday morning, we would be out there. The nuns and the teachers would be guiding us, and we would go to places like what used to be the Smoky Mountain. I don't know if you still
Yes,
remember Smoky
Tondo.
Mountain.
That's Tondo. Yes.
The interaction that I had with communities like that. Sometimes we would go to the slums. Sometimes we would be asked to volunteer in Hospital ng Maynila, making cotton balls for maternity. So, all that shaped what I am today. It shaped my concept of community service. And a lot of this had to do with the schooling that I got and the teachers that guided me. Very important.
Well, yes, go ahead,
That
Marco.
resonates. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you said you go to Smoky Mountain, those are examples of outreach program that Catholic
Outreach
schools
programs,
provide for
yes.
their students,
But
right?
we were
Yeah,
we
to
were told
expose.
to do, yeah, but the thing that about it is that it was really grassroots. There was one
Ah,
particular example that they sent us to Sister Teresa's Sisters of Charity,
Mhm.
where you
mhm.
had children, sick children, malnourished children, and my assignment that morning was to wash diapers.
Mhm.
So
Oh,
we
wow.
washed diapers of the babies. So it was really grassroots. No drama, no highfalutin anything, no pictures taken. Just go to the root of it and do it. And I had my moderator, who was our advisor, school advisor, and she would be, making sure that we all behaved and we all understood what service was all about.
Yeah, that's good. That is teaching our kids real life experiences. Well, that's great.
Yeah, which
Mention
is
hospital na Maynila, right?
Mhm.
yeah,
Now, my mother-in-law used to be the communication manager of that hospital. So I know the area over there, and it is really a public service
Public service,
working,
yeah.
working over there. So thank you for sharing that.
yeah, and those are experiences. I will say that's something that we can put it in our toolbox. So right now, which is what I am. This is connected with my next question with you, Rowena. What are the most important role as public servants that play in shaping our society? So, what do you think? What are these key responsibilities that you have seen or observed as you play this role?
Public leadership that has to do with the role is being visible, you know, be making sure that let me rephrase that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Public servants are people who connect community together.
Mm-hmm.
We bring about that sense of service to make sure that you uplift others. Public servants in the United States on the local level should be able to connect our needs and understand what it is, how it affects everyone on the national level as well. So from the local to the national. So if you're asking me about, is it the role of public servants? Is that you ask me?
Yes. What do
Okay.
you, particularly you yourself?
Okay, we are. I see myself as a bridge builder.
Okay.
A public servant is a bridge builder. So what I find in all the, if you look at social media, I attend practically everything
Yeah.
as much as I can when I possibly can. When the city tells me to attend something, I don't. I try not to go and talk to people, give my card and leave. I try to sit through the whole process. So I put it on my calendar to stay through the whole process because my presence there brings my community, my city that I represent, I bring it to them and I bring them to my city. So and then we have such a thing in our council where we call it sharing. So
Uh-huh.
council members during our meetings, which is twice a month, we get to share where we've been. So I talk to them and I say, for instance, I have been to a Philippine chamber mixer, and I
Mm-hmm.
talk to them about what was discussed, and this is what I learned. And then at the same time, when I go to the event, I talk to them about my city. So you connect the dots, you connect people. So that's what I see as my primary role, just bringing, and even in my city, it's bringing the council to our residents. And that's primary. That's why I was elected. So you take the sentiments of your residents, of your citizens, and then you bring them to council. They call me, they email me, they ask for things. Um, so, and then I will connect them. I don't, for if somebody asks me why is there not a traffic light in such and such an area, okay. So I don't build the traffic light naturally, but I connect them with the people involved, the police department, the engineering department, the city manager, and who's been in our city. Our staff is just wonderful, and they respond and make sure that I am kept updated with how they respond to it. So that's bridge building, and at the same time, I take our city and I tell the residents, this is our city. This is what we're doing, because oftentimes what I see in cities is that it's just a matter of communication.
Mm-hmm.
We have waste management, for instance, doing their utmost to make sure that everything is picked up on time. They have a new program now, which is to be unveiled soon, wherein people will be able to track where the garbage trucks are, the ones assigned to their home.
Area.
They can track it and see where they are, and if they're close to their home, that way they don't rush to bring out the garbage
Mhm.
early morning, for instance, on a Saturday morning, on a Wednesday morning. They have all these, but how do we communicate that to the people? If they don't know, the service is for naught. So that's bridge building. So everywhere I go, the way I see it is elected officials should be able to bridge the gap. We are the ones in between.
Okay.
I see. Uh, you have mentioned all of those bridging gaps. The next question is somewhat similar to that. but I wanted to pivot it on the way you were brought up in the Philippines. So the civic responsibility, and mind you, for those who are listening, your constituents are so lucky to have you serve them, because the way you responded on giving in into the civic responsibility, being a public servant, I would like to ask, how much of that, of the Filipino values that influence you to serve your constituents that way? Is there any
Oh,
influence that goes with that? The way you were brought up and the way you deliver your services to your people, your constituent, I mean?
you mean how much of it? All of it.
Yes.
I am a
Oh,
Filipino.
okay.
I am unabashedly Filipino. I am unabashedly Asian. In our council, I am the only Asian right now. I am the second Asian to be elected and the first Asian woman. Actually, I am the first naturalized Filipino to be
Mhm.
elected in the state of Texas, not just as a council member,
Mhm.
overall, which is
Wow.
which is actually shocking at this day and age. We should have had more. But
Yes.
going back to your question, what values do I bring? All of the values of being Filipino. Kapwa comes to mind. I love the word kapwa. We
Yes.
would use it all the time growing up, but it was not until it started to be coined as something core to the Filipino value
Mhm.
that it started to resonate with me. And I see it now all over in the things that we do, not just in the Philippine community, but primarily I see it in the Philippine community. There are those values of bayanihan. There's that thing about bangon. Last year, when we were organizing, Nildz was involved with this one. When we were organizing the state meeting for the Filipino-American Chamber of Commerce of Texas, I spoke with the moderator. We talked first, and she asked me three questions. She said, "Give me three values that you think would encapsulate our training." And on the spot, I thought kapwa, bayanihan, and bangon.
Yes.
We are one in the community, and that's the essence of it. Bayanihan is bringing it to action.
Mhm.
Right.
Bangon is being resilient. We have so many disasters in the Philippines.
True.
We take it, we prepare for it as much as we can, we pray, we grit our teeth through the process, and then the next day, if we have victims, we have deaths, we
Mhm.
bury our dead, we pray, and then we move on. We mourn and then we move on. It's our resilience that carries us through. It's very difficult. Why do we keep smiling?
Mhm.
These
That's true.
values that are it's in our essence. I don't know if you can say DNA, or I'm not sure if it's our upbringing, but it's
Yeah.
always there. There's also, and all that, around all that, there's spirituality. My mother was a very spiritual person. She made sure that you know, we were always mindful of the presence of God, of
Mhm.
Jesus Christ in churches. We were
That
raised
is so
Catholic,
true.
very Catholic. My father, on the other hand, is a wide thinker. He loves being Catholic, but my father read the Torah, he read the Quran. He was a very intellectual person. So he would talk to me how all these religions come together. And in the Philippines, although we are mostly Christian, a lot Catholic, we also have Muslims, we also have Buddhists, we also have all sorts of religions. And the value of collaborating, of being one, of kapwa, despite our differences, that is very important. And in all the things that I do now, whether it's supporting the community in multicultural efforts,
Mhm.
I see that. Whether it's working with every resident of my city, regardless of their religious background, I see that. And that all comes to fore because I was raised that way, in the Filipino way of being of kapwa, and
Right.
that's oneness. And even Niels will tell you that when I took over the state leadership of the Filipino-American Chamber of Commerce, collaboration was the key word. And it came to that because of kapwa, my Filipino upbringing.
That's right. Very well said. Thank you so much. I hear
Yeah.
you say top importance of pakikiwa, resiliency, being prayerful. Mention the responsiveness of people itself and your leadership. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yes, and to add on to that, back what Rowena says, yeah, I am a witness there when he was the state leader. And when she said, Niels, can you stay? I said, good, because I had for me, I saw my working relationship with Rowena not only on a personal level, but professional level and in all aspects. When she became a public servant, this becomes more a bigger challenge for her to be there, and all she needs to do is just apply what we have, because she's a self-made woman and she's been there, she's been doing it, not now on a non-profit, organization, a smaller scale. Now for me, God has given her this task that, okay, Rowena, here's, I enlarge your community, I enlarge where you'll be serving people, and I'm one of her supporter that I believe in what she did in our community. Although I'm not from Carrollton, I'm from Garland, and she knows that I would go there and support her because I believe in what she's doing. I believe in the kind of passion that she has, because like what we were talking about here about the sense of responsibility, like she talks about pakikipagkapwa, utang na loob, and everything that we do bayanihan sa Filipino, that embodies what Rowena Raroque-Waters. See, I'm passionate when I talk about Rowena because I'm one of her, you know, fan, and I'm one of her support, and she knows that. So our friendship goes along that way. But anyway, I'm segmenting. I am, going to the next question of you being a person of inspiration. So my next question, Rowena, is how can we encourage pride in being a Filipino-American public servant among the youth?
I'm
How,
sorry.
how can you encourage pride in being a Filipino-American public servant among the youth?
Among the youth,
Yes.
we have to. The youth has to be shown. We have to be visible. They have to see us. They have to see what we do. Every Filipino, and it's not just public servants or influencers or people that we see on media and all that. It's every single one of us. They look at us and they see direction in us. So it's incumbent upon all of us to be able to behave like we truly are the leaders that they should emulate. We should all be role models for them. So all those values that I said, but also wrap it up in ethics, doing the right thing at the right time for the right reasons also. They have to be able to know that this is their leaders and this is how it should be. We live in a very fractured world right now, a very
Mhm.
fractured nation, both in the Philippines and in the US. We have so many problems around us, but we have to be able to show them that, this is not what it should be.
Mhm.
We can do better because we are doing better. So, just be the right people for them to look up to. Set the
Mhm.
right example. It's the visibility and the where we lead. I just heard um, well, actually, I read this quote. It just struck me the past few days, and it said, "Leadership, grow leadership where you are.
Mhm.
Grow leadership where you are." So as you walk your life, your career, your nonprofit volunteerism, even in your own household, you
Mhm.
have to make sure that you grow leadership by giving them an example, by
Mhm.
teaching them, by mentoring. And mentoring comes in many, many ways. It can be very,
Mhm.
very subtle. You probably don't even know you're teaching them, but it's there. And the youth needs to be able to see that in us.
Mhm. Can you
Wow.
say that it's also when we say that we balance, I don't know if you agree with me, we balance community needs with ethical and effective decision making, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because when the young people will see how you are walking with your talk, whether you go from your home or the public, then that's something that they can emulate, right? Because of the leadership. So you don't have to show up, I mean, basically, but when they hear the word Rowena Raroque Waters, oh, it rings a bell. And right away, you got something there that strike them because you are who you are But the kind of attitude, behavior, service that you are, showing to our community or to to your constituent in Carrollton, and that's going to be infectious because people here in the United States, and when you come to the Philippines and see that right away, they can recognize everything that you have done here in the United States.
Yeah, to sum it up, in a teacher's perspective, that should always be the modeling. You model it in words, in deed, and in your faith. That's what it is. So when we do model, these children looks up to us, right? So thank you for that wonderful
Are we
response.
going to have a advertisement?
Yes, we're
Coming
going
up?
to pause for a while, and then we will come back for our next question. Stay tuned, guys.
Thank you.
In a world filled with fleeting moments, there's beauty waiting to be captured. My name is Christian, and I specialize in immortalizing your most precious memories. From elegant weddings to vibrant events and timeless portraits, I'm here to make every moment unforgettable. Let me tell your story through the lens. Contact me today and let's create magic together.
Okay, we're back. Thank you for that
Back.
commercial. Um, we're gonna move on. Do we have any comment or? Okay, there we go. Right from Eileen Ligo. Good morning, Councilwoman Rowena, Ma'am Cora, and Dr. Nildz. Good morning.
Good morning. We're happy that you're watching us, especially our featured guest right now.
Yeah. So we're gonna move on. Since we're gonna mention leadership, we're gonna mention responsibility, modeling, so that our future leaders are on the dot of what we are doing as a public servant. The question is this: with the influence of media, social, everything. However, we have a lot young professionals or young students who are gearing towards leadership. Okay. Now, my question is, how would you give, or what advice could you give to young Filipino-Americans to inspire them to become leaders in their own community? Do you have any thoughts on that? If you will give them advice, or how will you inspire them to lead their group and become somebody in the community?
I've always been asked in the course of I've only been in council for a year and a half. I'm the newest one in council, and I'll stay that way until next year. And I've been asked, and there are some people who ask me advice on running. And I always say, start where you are. Whether you plan to run in this next election or in next year or in 5 years, start where you are and build community. There are two levels of this one. The first one is what is common to our youth, and we see that all the time in social media, which is branding. Brand yourself. Brand yourself so that they know. Start by telling people who you are. But branding has to do with substance too. There has to be content. And the content is who you are. And if you are not strong enough, if it's all just a facade, your branding is just a facade, then it's not going to hold water. And even when you're there, you're not going to be very effective. If you have the advantage of planning long term to be in civic leadership, to run for a seat, then start in your community, build people around you. When I was in business And I encountered my very first challenge. My business was in trouble. It was 3 years ago. I spoke with a friend. My husband connected me one of his students, one of his mentees, and he asked me, "What is your network?" I said, "None." I was in the U.S. I've been here for like maybe less than 10 years. I was focused on business. I'm an administrative professional, and the goal was to run the organization as well as I could. But I was not a marketing person. So I had to go back to see, after that statement, to see what my connections are. And he immediately connected me with three basic chambers: the Asian Chamber, the Hispanic Chamber, and the Black Chamber of Commerce. And then I started there. I had my connections in the Philippines, but they were all gone. But I started to grow the connection here, primarily for support. But then I realized there's so much more that I can do. So even if I did never plan to be in politics, I actually made my decision for 3 days before the deadline, and I never planned for it. I did not realize this. I had built my roots long before when I started to build my network. So get your friends, your community, to know that you are able to accomplish this much by doing the deed. You don't just walk the walk. You follow up. You don't just talk the talk. You walk the walk. And then what surprised me in the process was that when I made my decision, I had no infrastructure, I had no money, but immediately a community came to support me. And these were the people that I had worked with, and that was a surprise to me, a very pleasant surprise. Start where you are, build where you can, work where it matters. And that's all I can tell you. And be genuine, be sincere in what you do. Don't just do it for just so you have something to show in your resume, in your Facebook page, in your social media, but actually do it because it means something to you.
Yeah. Well, to sum it up, what I heard you said is that you will inspire our youth to become a leader. First, you do your branding, and you make sure that you do what you said, not just talk the talk, but walk the talk. Also, you have to build what you can and be truthful to yourself, be genuine. So those are the specific things that would like to impose, or not impose, would like to share with you, young people who are watching right now. Listen to our leaders right now. So there you go. We have an inspiration. We have a model that we have in our front right now. So thank you, Councilor.
Yeah, those are very, I will say, encouraging and informative information that you share, Rowena. And as we go on in our everyday life, I know we were discussing this with some other colleague. There's a lot of stress going on. Just like you mentioned earlier, a lot of things happening not only here in the United States but also here in the Philippines. And being a public servant, I know you yourself have already encountered this, and that's where we always want to make sure that we have a strong support system, not only with our families, our friends, our people that we come in contact. So my question to you is, how do you think you as a Filipino-American public servant stay resilient in the face of adversity?
You draw strength from within. And that's important if you have had, most of us have been given the privilege of being raised to understand who we are. And in the course of our life, we pick up wisdom, we pick up lessons. So resilience comes from the core. But if you don't have it, and you're just learning, you just draw into looking at the next day. The sun will shine regardless of what you feel. Allow yourself a time to reflect. But after reflecting, get up, brush your knees, and keep going. A lot has to be said about constant learning, and this is where your teachers come in. How you can teach your students that schooling is a life lesson. Sometimes I grit my teeth. I get so frustrated. I get so frustrated because I encounter incidents like when I'm on the dice and we have to make a decision. I get so frustrated because I don't know enough. But there are people around me who are patient, and I ask them. I have no shame telling people I don't know. I have no shame telling them, oops, I made a mistake. How do I fix this? So it's, if you didn't grow up that way, then by God, start now. Start now. Start understanding that resilience comes from your grit, but also your ability to see the next day, as well as your ability to learn. You're wrong, you made a mistake, or maybe just the universe just wasn't nice to you yesterday. But there is another day. You have it in you to keep going. So get up, brush your knees, and keep going.
Yeah. And I think, thank you so much for that, Rowena. I think that's one thing that I guess the Filipino American have these strong values of, bago na. We're talking about resilience, that bago na, right? That in spite of the challenges, we can easily, bounce back and as if nothing happened. And look, that's why we always smiling. We never grow old because we are happy people, right? And whatever happened, we're just there. So I think this is one thing that people around us, we get to know that as a Filipino American, this is what we've been raised. This is what our values was, when we are, growing up as a Filipino. And not only that, our stories, the one that you shared to us earlier, becomes an inspiration because from there you become what there's a humility, talking what you said, like, I admit that I'm wrong, I admit I don't know anything. I think that's one thing that would with as a Filipino. I myself, I'm not perfect. When we were working together, I would tell you, what we're gonna do, what do you think, because that's one way for us to grow as a mature individual. And that's why I'm so thankful that I have an opportunity to work with you. I've learned also with you. I'm an educator, but I also learn with you. So I think this is one way for us to grow our community. Yes, Ma'am Cora.
Yes, it is. It is really, really true. Knowing yourself, knowing what is your goal and where you want to go, that is how you are going to build your core and your resilience. And if it is really, you wanted to do this, you cannot do something that you don't even know where you are coming from. So the core, indeed, your values that you learned from the past and how you were brought up really is your core that will help you reach your goals. So I think we all know that Filipino Americans has that value, and I think that makes us different from the others. I believe.
Yeah, that was awesome. Ma'am Cora, do you want to say the next one? Our,
Yeah. So we are looking into the development of our society, development of our community that we are serving. My question is, how can we align public service efforts with national development goals? So, what is your perspective on the public service effort to your national development goal?
Local council member functions. What
Mhm.
happens in the local level should always feed into what we do. It's very nonpartisan. It's very basic. It's like potholes and water quality. Although it has nothing to do with politics, it feeds into the politics and the national politics. It surrounds us. So we have to be able to discern what is wise. At the end of the day, you just have to see what's good for your city. And that goes into wherever you are. If you're a teacher, it's very difficult these days not to delve into the politics on the national level, whether you're in the Philippines or in the US. It's very difficult. But the primary goal is what's good for who you serve. So in my case, I serve everybody. So it doesn't matter where your politics align. If whether it's on the local level or on the national level, and it's something we have to vote on, we just have to focus on what's good for the community I serve. If you're a teacher and it comes in and your students are bickering, for instance, because of that, then your consideration is what's good for your students, what's good for them in the long term. You have to always have your eye in the long term. I find that we have a lot of strengths as Filipinos, but one of the things that I've observed, one of the behavior that I've observed in the process of doing business in the Philippines is probably because of there's a lot of poverty. So probably because of that, we tend to be myopic. What's good for today? To survive. It's surviving today. But as a leader, you should not have that privilege of only looking at the day. You have to teach your students. You have to show that the long term is very important. So what happens today affects what happens tomorrow. So when it comes to the goals and the national efforts of the local needs, we have to connect that with the national priorities. We have to ensure, now in the US, they always have these words, equity, sustainability, and the opportunities that we provide. But those are not empty words. Sustainability has to do with how strong are we as in terms of our resources. How well do we maintain our resources so that it's good for the long term for our children and their children. We have that. It's God-given. If we look into that, we are given stewardship of the earth. We have to take that seriously. The earth is our responsibility. So things like pollution and flooding, and that's our job. Save the trees, save the bees. They're not empty. Save the whales. Those are not just things that a certain sector of society should look into. It's our responsibility to make sure that there's no pollution, that the whales are still there when your grandchildren are there, that the bees are here to sustain our farms. We have to be able to look beyond the politics of it, beyond the day-to-day. Now, when it comes to equity, it has to be, everybody should have a chance. When you're teaching, everybody should be able to be given the opportunity to learn, to be educated. And how do we do that? That's a tough question. How do we do that? We have public schools in the Philippines. How well do we manage the quality of the education in public schools? We have public schools in the US. How well do we fund the public schools? Because public schools are the equalizers. It serves all in society. It serves the disabled. We have to consider the long term. If we don't teach our children properly for the long term, what are we teachers for? What are public service for? So the opportunities that we provide should be able to provide for everyone, but with the eye of the long term as well. I was in an event a few days ago. This is in the US, this is in Texas, and it showed that third grade level reading is just down, really down, and the graph was really pointing down. Now, this is our responsibility, all of us. COVID had a lot to do with it, but it's not just COVID, it's a lot of us. It also showed that mental health is provision of mental health resources. Texas is the 50th. We are at the very bottom of providing we have the most disadvantaged children health-wise in the whole of the US. Now, Texas is very strong economically. We're probably second or third. I think we're second. I have to look into my stats again. We're either second or third in terms of our economic strength in the US. But our children are the most disadvantaged. Think about that. So when we look at the national priorities, it impacts our community. My city is not very big. We had 144,000 people, and yet 4 schools are closing this year. 4 public schools are closing this year. Now, there are a lot of demographic reasons for that. Okay, people moving around, birth rate going down a lot. But still, if you look at it if you look at the patterns, schools are closing. There's not enough funding for it. So again, this is what's happening today. Schools are closing. So you resolve that issue of budget budget deficit. But then again, you have to think about how does this impact the future of our citizens, how they're educated. So looking at the long term is very important, both in the Philippines and in the U.S. And I have to bring this up now. When I was an entrepreneur and I was working with suppliers in the Philippines, it was very frustrating for me when one of my businesses was pearl jewelry. And I was approached by a few people in Green Hills many years ago when I was just starting. And they said, we have a problem because the Japanese and the Chinese and a lot of the other countries are being able to buy our pearls in bulk and taking them there. And they have more equipment to work on it, and we are losing out. So I said, why don't you form a cooperative? And they didn't know how. They didn't know where to go to. And I just did not have the ability to travel back and forth to do it. So they didn't have the heart or the resources to be able to manage something like that in the long term.
Right.
I think we should start looking at educating everyone in the Philippines and in the US about when you look at things at the long term, you have to be able to plan. You have to be able to provide resources. So, it all comes to fore, but you all can start where you are because everything's connected. Everything we talked about today is connected one with each other. So start where you are. See how you can help. Look at the resources around you and be able to galvanize all that. And education is key, making the kids understand now.
Right.
You have to look around and find what you can to be able to build on it and get the collaboration of your community. You cannot solve anything by yourself. But if you manage to convince those around you to galvanize their efforts and everything they have, their passion, their skills, then you'll be able to come up with a plan that's sustainable, that's equitable, and that will serve everybody. It's a tall order, but it can be done.
I'm just curious wait a second, Miss Cora. I'm just curious everything that Miss Rowena says. That being shared to us, what do you think? Can you give an example or project that you think you want to do as a counselor? I know you got your committee chair or some kind of responsibility as counselor, but if given a chance, what kind of programs or projects do you think you want to start to contribute to a long-term societal progress? I'm sorry, it's just flashed in my head because everything that you said, I just put it all together.
Yeah. Well, I run on fiscal responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
I run on security, the
Mm-hmm.
security of our city. So that's important to me, making sure that we have the right police, fire, and all that protection for everyone. And I also run on small business, supporting small business. I believe in small business. I was a small business owner for many many years. Sometimes I was wildly successful. Sometimes I was just meh. And I've known failure in my life. So small business have their challenges, but I think the one that's not being addressed right now among those three that I mentioned, because a lot of us have our eye on that budget. We all in council watch that budget. We are very careful with money when it comes to Carrollton. I'm very proud of that. We actually have, this is our 12th year in a row that we will be dropping property tax rates.
Oh, I want to transfer to Carrollton.
Not very many cities. Yeah, not very many cities in the U.S. can claim that we
I know.
we
Wow.
are very careful about money, very careful, and I give credit to not just the council in the past
Uh-huh.
for how well they managed it, but also the staff. We have excellent staff who make sure that the priorities are followed. We set the priorities as council, and they follow. But also the security, because we just we just love our people can talk about everything about their police department. I don't know what happens in their cities, but in our city we have wonderful police and fire. We have wonderful people who look into the security, even the engineering. You light up streets and all that. That's security. When you make sure that building codes are followed, that's security. So it all follows. We make sure that we're not always, it's a work. It's always a work in progress. Something always comes up. But when it comes to small business, I think we should look into that one. People forget. People think of business and they think like I also can. It's not a new term, but I picked it up. I call it micro business because small business is 500 employees or less. It's still a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
The most employees I ever had was 45. I've
Mm.
never had more than 49 at any given time. My average was 45 in my one business. So small business at 500, that's still big. So I'm actually, I call myself a micro business owner at that time, micro business.
Okay.
Sometimes it's just me. I start with just me.
Yeah.
I'm a vice president. When I start a business and I look around, I'm in my guest bedroom by myself. It's just that.
Mhm.
It's just the way it is. So small business has to be looked into because it starts small and it goes big. And I think we are a significant employer on a national scale. Small business plays a big role. So I like to look into small business and be able to protect it. So those are the three things that I run on. So what I run now that's not in those top three, I believe in multiculturalism. I believe that minorities should have a voice. And the biggest driver, I was back and forth on whether I should run because I never planned to. I never did. Even did not think that I would win until I started seeing my friends who are not affluent donating to my campaign, and it just touched me. I'm like,
Uh,
they can give me what little they have,
mhm.
and it's my job to win for them. That's what kind of drove me. So um, it's the community, it's the minority, but I don't see Filipino representation the way. I mean, I am the third on record, and we've been searching historical archives. I am the third Filipino, and I'm the second Filipino to win an elected seat in Texas ever. And I am the first full bodied, 100% naturalized Filipino who ever won a seat in Texas. Where are our fellow Filipinos? And
Right there in front of you.
yeah, where are you?
Meals.
If you're in the US, where are you? And then the other thing is, good grief, vote. Vote.
Mhm.
We are non voters. In
Yeah.
Yeah,
Texas,
yeah.
we are non voters. I see minority groups who are actually big. The Asian group in Carrollton is big, but they don't vote. You know
But
how
they
much
came out to vote you.
I'm sorry?
They came out to vote for you.
They did. They did
Yes,
vote
they
for me,
did.
and I appreciate that very much. And their volunteers. Nildz was volunteering for me. She was out there distributing flyers for me. Thank you, Nildz. But you have to vote again where you are. Start where you are. Vote. It's very
Yes.
important that they hear you, that they see you. Hearing from you is start with voting. Galvanize voters when it comes to election. No matter what you believe in, it doesn't matter.
Mhm.
But
As long
vote.
as you vote.
And then if you think you can win, start planning your campaign where you are at this particular time. If you think you have a future in politics, start now.
Mhm.
Ask advice. Call me. You can find me on LinkedIn. You can find me on Facebook. Send me a message. Non-Filipinos have approached me. I think this is the sixth person who approached me in the past month just asking about running, and none of them are Filipinos. There was one Asian, and none of them, one Asian and no Filipinos. I can give you advice. I can point you to people who can help you. But start now. Have that awareness that your voice matters and your voice matters to your community. We have to be represented. We have to be heard.
Yeah. And that's the reason we featured you, because this is one way of, having a baby step, inspiring our youth here in the United States to follow your footsteps. Because just like you said earlier, there's no or Asian or Filipinos that really interested in running for public position. So your visibility right now, your presence right now speaks volume of how these young people will be influenced by your presence here right now in our podcast. So it's really a big honor for us that you are here. That's why we highlight you, you
Yeah.
alone, okay, Serena. Yes, Miss
Now, now
Cora.
that they heard and seen you, that will be a very, very good start for all of our youth to be inspired that if you can do it, they could also do it.
Yeah.
And we have also guests that has been in the past that inspired our youth. And we have listened and heard and read all their comments. And you being there is another star on our head because you inspire them. So we are now getting to a close, but before we leave, we have an open-ended question for you, if you don't mind.
Okay.
So
You're gonna start it first. You start it with Ma'am Cora.
no, you started first.
Okay. Well, we're gonna introduce. Okay, this is our open-ended, and this is what we normally do, Miss Rowena, every time we trying to finish our program. So, I am Niels Henson. I am Lingkod Bayan or public servant because I believe in serving others with integrity, compassion, and dedication. Me being a teacher, my passion for education, advocacy, and community building reflects my commitment in uplifting lives, fostering opportunities, and ensuring that every voice is heard and valued. That's
Wow.
me being my Lincoln Bayan because we are all, serving nonprofit organization, right? So that's what I felt. How about you, Ma'am Cora?
Okay, I am Cora Flores, and I am a Lingkod Bayan or public servant because I love my community. I love my people. I serve God. And if I serve the least of my people, I serve Him. That's why I am a public servant.
So it's the it's Rowena's turn now. So Miss Rowena, what
Okay.
do you say about this?
Okay. I am Rowena Waters, and I am Lingkod Bayan because leadership is not measured by what I achieve for myself,
Mhm.
but how much I lift others.
Wow. Excellent.
Yes,
Thank you. Thank you. So,
yes.
um, do you have any announcement that you would like your community to hear or to be informed? Because we're going to make an announcement before we leave our program for today. Do you have
Oh,
any?
is it me?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
We give
Okay.
you
The
time.
immediate one would be Nexus, and Nils can follow up with me for this one.
Mhm.
There's a conference being organized, and it happens soon on the 26th of September.
Mhm.
It's organized by the Filipino-American Chamber of Commerce of Texas and in collaboration with the PACC Texas Foundation.
Mhm.
And we have sponsors, and it has to do with small business certification and the opportunities it provides. It also has to do with the career fair. So we are inviting anyone. It's all free. You just have to register. If you go to the website of any of the Philippine American Chamber of Commerce, if you go to the to social media, it will be there. Oh, there, it's being flashed. Thank you, Niels. Thank you,
Yeah.
everyone. And we invite everybody to join. Come in, listen to the conversation. There might be opportunities you just never heard of during our panel discussion. At the very least, we inspired. And then go see what available jobs are there and what available resources and potential hiring opportunities there are for your organization or for yourself. And then Nils has planned very, very inspiring breakout sessions in the afternoon. And it's
Yeah.
one day, but there are several parts of it. You don't have to attend the whole day if you're busy, but come join us. And I specifically want to invite everybody for the education and the inspiration of it.
Thank
26th
you.
of
Thank
September.
you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Krisha, can you please share that? If you can share that flyer for the Nexus, but if not, can you please put some what do you call it? Share some photos of Miss Rowena that we forgot to share because we're trying to put one slide after another. Oh, there's okay. There you are, Miss Rowena.
Thank you. Thank you.
So okay, yeah. So
Okay. So, wow, that's a lot of activities to
yeah.
be excited about.
Can we come? Yeah, that's during her birthday. She's blooming. I'm telling you. Every time she goes out, I think this is her passion, Rowena's passion, that going out and serve a lot of people. So, going back to Nexus, that's going to be 2 weeks from now. It's Friday, which is yes, where you are. We would like to advertise that. That's also one of the pet project of Miss Rowena. Uh, PACC Texas Nexus 2025. She got this idea. She got this, business idea. So she's the one who brought up this concept of what about making it PACC Texas Nexus 2025? Okay.
Mhm.
So unlocking opportunities, small business certification, connection and career. It starts at 7:30. Doors open at 7:30 and until 3:30. So the venue is gonna be at Dallas campus on Brookhaven, Carrollton, and there's
Farmers Branch.
come again.
Farmers Branch.
Farmers Branch, I'm sorry. So different from Carrollton, that's Farmers Branch. Thank you for correcting me. So there's a lot of opportunity for you guys. We're gonna have booth vendors. We have from the Texas workforce. We have what do you call these vendors from the different nonprofit and profit organization, private, and there's more. So come in, and this is free. Scan the QR code and register yourself. And also at the end, there is what? A raffle prize. There's nice raffle prizes that we have, but of course, be present to claim your prize. Thank you for that opportunity, Ms. Marina.
Thank you.
Yes.
So I will make also an announcement next month. The Society for the Advancement of Filipino Educators and Education Professional, Unified Houston, together with Young Professionals of Houston, we are going to launch a Filipino class for those who are interested to learn the language. Have online and face. We will keep details next week. Do our next on September 7th. You who are interested, we are inviting you to attend our Filipino class. Will start on October 27 until December, uh, I think, 27. Okay, so come and join us.
And
Our
Ma'am
next
Cora,
episode,
okay,
we still
Ma'am
have.
Cora, I just want to shout out for birthday 9/11. And I have families whose birthday is 9/11. Okay, and one of them is my granddaughter, celebrating her 14th birthday. I got actually three grandkids, 9/11, all of them. Elijah and of course my daughter-in-law Charm. Shout out to you guys, happy birthday. And of course our regular viewer, the Golden Girls from Brownsville, Texas. They said we're tuning in, and these are group of Golden Girls ages from 60 to 90.
Oh
Viewing
wow!
us every Saturday. Every other podcast we have, and then of course shout out to the Filipino-American of Brownsville down there in Brownsville, Texas. They are in South Padre Island doing their team building. Thank you so much for all of them. They are regular viewers, and we thank you for supporting us in our podcast. Yes, Ma'am Cora.
Also, happy birthday! Advance happy birthday to Greg. Um, I forgot. Greg, I'm sorry. The husband of Manay Tess.
Oh,
Okay?
okay.
So he will be having his
Greg
birthday on
Water.
September 15th. So happy birthday, Greg.
Yeah.
So our next episode will be on September 27. And our title is, since we talk about leadership today, we're going to have a part two of this, but this time, leadership and lifelong learning. So that will be our title next week. Okay? So, what are we going to do now? Thank you so much,
Can we
Counselor.
have a group photo first before we.
Go ahead.
Yes, Miss Krisha, can you take a picture, please?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yes, smile. Thank you, Miss Krisha. Done. Thank you. Oh, by
Thank
the way,
you.
Miss Rowena, this is in YouTube. It's recorded, and you can have access on that. So once
Thank
again,
you.
thank you so much for coming over and gracing our podcast. So see you again uh,
Thank you,
next September
Counselor.
27.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Have a great day.
Yes, thank you.